The Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 and Administration of Criminal Justice Law of Lagos State 2015 aims at ensuring that the system of administration promotes efficient management, speedy dispensation of justice, protection of society from crime, and protection of the rights and interests of the suspect, the defendant, and the victim of the crime. In ensuring that this law is carried out and implemented, stakeholders convene to sensitize themselves on the need to reform the system through discipline, especially from the top. Speaking after the sensitization, a representative from the Nigerian Police Force, Shamsuddin, and Emmanuel from Network and Police Reform in Nigeria aired their views.
The ACJL has always been the working tools for the police, especially in the area of criminal prosecution. So what has been given to police now is a synopsis, like a summary of the content of the ACJL, that at a glance you can get the details of the law, even if you don't want to, if it is too bulky for you to read. With this summary, you can get the details of the ACJL in what was presented today. And that is what we are going to give to the men and officers of Nigerian police, especially those that are in the area of investigation and prosecution.
Part of the implementation of the Police Trust Fund that was actually signed into law, part of it was that the funds raised with the Police Trust Fund will be channeled towards providing tools for them to work, providing armories for them to use, training and retraining of police officers. Some billions have been allocated to that particular institution. What has happened so far? After how many years? That was signed in 2019. We're in 2022. That means we only have about 3 years, because it's only a 6 years project. It's a short-term project. So in the next 3 years, what can we achieve with the money we have at hand? So training and retraining, it's very, very important. And capacity building, it's important. The quality of recruitment is very important.
The practices that existed before the advent of new regime may be restored by the relevant stakeholders in the administration of the criminal justice, and by so doing effectively relegate the salutary changes introduced by the regime to the doldrums of a forsaken legal library. Speaking further, other stakeholders also had their views on this.
Rank and file, which when I say rank and file, I'm talking about those at the lower level. They need to build their capacity so that they understand the relevant provisions. The ACJ is actually a very good legislation or law, and it's very elaborate on how the police is supposed to manage suspects. If the police would comply with those provisions of the law, I am sure that we'll have a better police force, and we'll also have better respect for human rights.
For the government, it's a very simple thing. They have to get people to monitor the monitors. It's not enough for you to disburse money for something and it never gets there and you keep quiet. The next budget, you still do the same thing. No. When such thing happens, especially with the police, I pity most of them. You see what they put on as clothes, the shoes, you pity them. A lot of them go out of their way to get those things. So when you're not happy with yourself, how do you think you can exhibit such to another person you see? Every other person you see on the way is an enemy. So you're asking them to read. What do they read? Even if they read 20 times, about the mindset. They're not willing to assimilate that and they will not know it. So I feel the best way to handle this is sensitization.
Stakeholders therefore agreed that the key factor in addressing the issues in the Nigerian police force is training and capacity building, as well as sensitization.